Hello everyone, welcome to our channel, and today we have a special guest, Yulia. She has worked in real estate market for over 15 years and she has seen it in and out from operation to management. Recently Yulia made a great move and she joined major developer who is building projects in Ras Al Khaimah. Welcome Yulia.
Thank you for having me.
Yulia, can you tell us more about your background, about your path in real estate, and what made you join the major development?
All right, so I started in Dubai in holiday homes. I have large experience in short-term rentals. This is where my path started back in 2013, I guess. That's a long time ago, yeah. Then I transited slowly to real estate. Then it was property management. I've done a bunch of trainings. I've done 3 years in real estate training education in Dubai and Abu Dhabi. And it felt like, a right time to transit to developer. So I worked with Eldar and then now I moved to Ras Al Khaimah, which is also interesting because I've had experience in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and now I kind of thought I need another emirate. So I moved to Ras Al Khaimah and I honestly believe a lot in this emirate.
Well, since Ras Al Khaimah is the interesting chapter for you, can you tell us a little bit more about that region and for viewers as well who is not familiar with that emirate yet?
Yeah.
What is that? Why it's so popular lately?
Well, obviously it became a popular destination because of the casino that is building. So Ras Al Khaimah has exclusivity with Wynn Resort. It's a Vegas branded casino that usually hosts millions of people all over the world. Ras Al Khaimah announced that they're building the casino and it became a very hot destination for investors who are willing to enter the market earlier. Ras Al Khaimah now is a sort of Dubai in 2010, I would say, when you can enter in an early stage where there is still land on the beach side, where you can still have properties with as much as 2,500 per square foot beachfront properties. You can't have it much in Dubai. And there is a very fast capital appreciation. The more casino is growing, to be honest, the more I can see the prices increasing in Marjan itself. And also apart from that, I feel it's an interesting emirate because it's a very small land. It's around 70 kilometers of beach land all over Ras Al Khaimah, and it's a limited offer and everybody are willing to invest there, and we can see a big demand on it. And it's interesting because it's from all over the world, because people seen how Wynn performed in the US, how it performed in China, how it performed in Europe. So it's kind of you don't need really to advertise it a lot because they've seen it with their own eyes. So everybody are excited about how this sort of brand will come to Middle East.
Well, you're right. I agree with you that Ras Al Khaimah is moving fast, but it still lacks the maturity of Dubai.
Yeah.
Don't you agree? What are the biggest gaps you see at the moment, and how soon do you think they would be realistically closed?
Well, they announced that Wynn Resort is going to be finished in Q4 2027. So we're going to see it in a year and a half. By that time, it lacks a lot, to be honest. Like if you go now there, it's full on construction site. But everybody are building there. And it's very important to mention that apart from private developers, major development is a top 3 private developer in Ras Al Khaimah. We have all the government developers enter the market. We have Aldar, we have Imar, Mirasa, like a lot of developers that's built there, and they're still like launching new projects. Also, interesting point that maybe not everyone knows, in Ras Al Khaimah there is a first blockchain-free zone in the UAE. And as we all know, everything moves towards crypto. They try to do tokenization of real estate. It's a hub that will be sort of like a DAFC, but on a crypto side.
Crypto friendly.
Crypto friendly, yes. So where we also have a building. So like we are seeing there is lots of things growing. At the moment, infrastructure is being grown, like built. You can see the roads are being built. The thing that I like about Ras Al Khaimah is I can see that they learned from the mistakes that have been done in Dubai. So they've done the road first. They've done the wider, so they avoid the traffic and stuff, like how we're having now issues, like they're building bridges above
Yeah.
in the JVC and all this stuff, right? So they started from the infrastructure first, slowly are building the land. And another important part is that in Ras Al Khaimah, Marjan are the master developers. So there is one only master developer. So it's controlled by one entity. Unlike in Dubai, when everything is, scattered around the city.
Which means there is the one master plan.
There is
Right.
one master plan. There is one approval from one place, and it's all structured and organized. It's easier to organize when you are in charge of everything rather than coordinating it with everyone.
That's a very important point, I believe.
Yeah, it is. And every building has to get approval from same entity. So, we're very close related to Marjan, and they're controlling everything that we're doing, up to the designs and everything.
So, Yulia, you've mentioned that Ras Al Khaimah at the moment looks like Dubai 10, 15 years ago. Do you think it still holds on to that or not really?
To be honest, I believe that Ras Al Khaimah is a completely different beast compared to Dubai. It is not the same. It doesn't have the same purpose. It doesn't have the same, idea. The idea is around the entertainment Emirates, the place where everyone goes for leisure, and just one area is done for the business, the blockchain hub that I was talking about. So Dubai, it's more of a different place, right? It was built for people to relocate their businesses here. It's a megapolis in a way of sorts.
The whole idea of it is totally different.
Yes. And I believe that UAE, they kind of coordinate between them. Every Emirates, they have a destination, right? Like, let's say Abu Dhabi, it's a cultural capital of the UAE. Then Dubai is a place where it's for the tourism and for investment. Then Ras Al Khaimah now is affiliated to casino and all this entertainment and this stuff. And then we have Sharjah that is really associated with education. We have Fujairah that association with the nature, the hiking, snorkeling and all this kind of stuff. So it seems like they're in agreement, and each of them, they hold a place. And I don't feel like Ras Al Khaimah is trying to copy Dubai. I think they're trying to do their different thing, which will be special and will be different from Abu Dhabi and from Dubai.
Okay, so basically Ras Al Khaimah is going to depend on tourists more than anything.
Yes, I would say if we talk about real estate wise, in terms of investment wise, we are not looking at big flocks of residents there, even though there are people who live there. And it's important to mention that Ras Al Khaimah has freehold, so you can own a property fully, unlike in other Emirates. Just only Dubai, Ras Al Khaimah, and Abu Dhabi it is valid. It is important that it will be still based on tourism. Like, we expect a big holiday home boom there, because from what Marjan are expecting, that will be up to 5 million visitors in Ras Al Khaimah. They're building Ras Al Khaimah airport, they'll be building Ras Al Khaimah private jet airport, airline. It is expected to be a big touristic hub in there. There will be end users, and infrastructure is ready for that as well. They're preparing to build schools, hospitals, there'll be a railway. So everything for the normal living, it is there, but the highest expectation are for the tourism, yes.
By the way, do you have any idea when the whole master plan is going to be finished?
We know Marjan Island, it should be ready by every building. They have their own deadlines, right? I know there are a lot of launches and they're expanding in the desert more. So the coastline, I think, will be developed by 2032, probably somewhat there. Like, at least our projects, the last one that we are selling now, it will be ready by 2030 Q1. Another one will be ready next year. Everybody are building at their own pace. But I think everything will grow once the casino will be ready. And we have like a building that comes up exactly in the same time.
So after 6 years, the most beautiful part of this emirate will be finished.
I think the most beautiful part of the emirate will be finished in 2 years, because it is like everything is about the around the casino. The casino island will be ready. Marjan Island will be ready. Al Khamra is ready. I mean, it is functioning now. So there is like the beach side will be building in process, maybe another 2 years.
That's nice.
And I know some big private developer also bought a huge plot in there to create a community in Marjan Beach. So yeah, we're expecting a big expansion towards the desert. You guys are into real estate and you both are for a long time. What is your opinion about Ras Al Khaimah?
To be honest, we are quite skeptical about Ras Al Khaimah because, first of all, Ras Al Khaimah is going to depend on tourists. And if there is any critical situation in the world and flights are closed, then what the people who own houses there for investment are going to do? It's the first, I guess, and major thing. Another one, attracting there's so many tourists to play casino, which has much less accommodating space. You know, what's the point for others who they're going to rent the houses to? And the third thing, for example, for me personally, I wouldn't want to live there with kids next to this island where the gambling is happening. So these are three things which I think keeping me away from entering the market and selling it to the investors.
Okay, so that's a good point that you introduced it. The fact that the everything is around the casino. The history shows that regardless what happens in the region, people still gamble and party. So this is
This is very true.
that this is something that we've analyzed because the major developments, it's 20 years in Eastern European market. And the owner of the company entered Ras Al Khaimah with the analysis of UAE as a whole. And the idea was that we believe in this region because regardless of what's happening, people are still gonna want to party, chill, and gamble. And these are not changing.
Unless they can't reach it.
Unless
the
they can't
party
reach
place.
100%. But
Always
again,
be bunker.
again, as I said, it is not a big emirate, right? So like if we're talking about Dubai, the prices are always fluctuating, like not always, but every 8 years we can see cycles because the city is growing and there is more supply than the demand. Ras Al Khaimah is a small place and the supply is not as huge as it is in Dubai. And even not now, there's a lot of visitors that are visiting Ras Al Khaimah as us, right? For we call it staycations, right? Like even the people who are in the UAE. And I think UAE is 10 million population, it increased. So even if we rely on that there is a big expectation of visitors that are staying there. This is another point. And in terms of like what I see, it's very interesting is that you don't have another emirate where you can enter with this low of a price with a beachfront property at this level. So in terms of investment, it's very interesting. Even if you are planning to flip it and sell it in a later stage, when you're entering, you know that there is a rule in real estate. When is the best time to invest? Yesterday. And the second best is today. Like this is how they usually say. Right. So this is why like I believe in it, even though I do understand why some agents are skeptical and why some clients are skeptical. But if you visit for once, let's say Macau or Vegas, and you see the flux of people and the attraction and the world, how it is there, you can understand that this kind of business, it will never go out of business. And even during the situation, we call it, right? People are still at the beach clubs, people are still partying. I don't see people really stressed here in Dubai. And then when there is a place where you can live and forget about all the troubles, it's kind of attractive.
And on another side, who are actually buying today in Ras Al Khaimah and what is driving their decision to buy there?
I'll be honest, mainly are buying investors who are planning to either flip, either rent their property on holiday homes. The investors, they see a potential of capital appreciation, which has already been proven since 2023 when the island started building. Even up to now, we already have up to 40% capital appreciation even during the construction. And the most of the investors, they're planning to do a holiday homes concept in there. In terms of nationalities, is same as Dubai. It's Russia, it's Europe, it's India. a lot of US compared to Dubai. USA doesn't really buy Dubai, but they buy Ras Al Khaimah because they know Vegas. So they know the concept, they understand it. We've done a bunch of road shows in Vegas, and we're doing it now again, by the way. And this is where they see it, they understand the value, and they invest. And the same in China. People who've been in Macau, they've seen how Macau was initially a village next to Hong Kong. And then once they built Wynn casino there, it increased the infrastructure, it grown a lot, and it has an insane traction of tourists there. People who seen the casino, people who believe in the investment in capital appreciation, and those who are planning to have holiday homes. But let's be honest, in Dubai as well, most of the people are buying as an investment. Even though you're planning to live there, you look at the ROI, you still look at the ideas, how will I sell it?
Goals are often mixed.
Yes. Yeah. Like, you every time you're asking your clients, is your plan to investment or for yourself? And every buyer is saying like both. Because it's, by the end of the day, you want to know, like, if you want to sell it, how you'll exit it and not to lose money.
You mentioned flipping, but there are a lot of units are coming to the market of Ras Al Khaimah.
Yeah.
Don't you see a risk of oversupply?
No, because it is. I can see the demand, and I can see the amount of inquiries. Like if there will be a it is a small city, and there is I know the developments that are building in Marjan by heart, so there are not so many. Dubai, you can expect that because we are building in Dubai, you build certain areas entirely.
Actually, coming back to your question, that's one of my concerns, which makes me hard to sell Ras Al Khaimah, because there are only few projects from the big and well-known developers who actually sold their project already.
Yeah.
There is nothing to sell from them.
Yeah.
And there is a bunch of unknown developers who are selling quite interesting projects for quite high price, in my opinion. And I don't know how to justify that to the buyers, basically. I don't say that all projects are bad in Ras Al Khaimah. I actually like the idea of the Emirates and what they're building in there in general. But I would say there are not so many projects worth of investing.
100%. As any real estate development, you need to make your research, understand where you're investing. Like there is the location, there is the reputation of a developer. Like now we can see a big, they're trying to dump the market, and with their discounts, with the insane payment plans. So you have to keep an eye on it, because it's your responsibility as a real estate broker or investment consultant to advise your client where to invest. So you need to research the developer, what are their plans, the quality, what are their finances, because if you see, we have a bunch of developers in Ras Al Khaimah that they bought a lot of land and they have to sell a lot, and they start giving big discounts, and you're expecting there'll be delays and so on. So you need to see the reputation, the amount of properties, the attraction, the location. I don't need to teach you how to sell real estate. You know it very well.
Do your own
Do
research.
your own due diligence, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think the thing about Ras Al Khaimah is that people don't know enough about it. That's why they don't sell. Because once we notice that, when they understand it well, real estate agents really like to sell it. And in our company, the top selling agencies are the same top selling in Shoba, the same top selling in Emar. So we're not working with some, maybe small agencies who they are just scamming everyone. No, it's the top agencies, the very important, the very good brokers. And I feel that it is the fact that when you don't know enough about it, you have doubts, but the more you learn and understand it better and do your research, it's easier.
But I think also, another thing, in Ras Al Khaimah, you cannot get statistics like in Dubai. Even in Abu Dhabi, you can't really see how much it was sold for. And this is what we can't guarantee and say, okay, since 2023, the price has been increased for 40%. But where are the evidences? How we can prove it and how we can actually be sure,
It's right the same how we were selling properties in 2010 and 2011 when we started in Dubai. In Ras Al Khaimah, yes, that there is no, let's say,
Data
DXB Interactive,
yeah,
like this kind of
yeah.
stuff. It is not available. We can say only based on our own inventory, and we can say based on market research what others are offering. The price of the units are justified, actually. You know, initially, when I was outside the developer, like outside major, I was also considering that it's very, you know, expensive. But then when you work with a developer closely with the engineers and you see the price per square foot, and then the construction price, and then the managing price, and so on, it is not that big of a difference with Dubai. And at the same time, the rentals, like if you look at the hotels, if you look at the properties that are there, they're more or less in the same category. But I would prefer to buy a property in Marjan rather than having a unit in Town Square. Just saying.
Just saying. And whom do you think should not invest in Ras Al Khaimah? What sort of buyer it should be?
The buyers who, I would say, more conservative ones, you know, like when you want something really sure, guaranteed, you know, like kind of very safe space, because you know, there are different types of investments. You can go and trade in crypto and, you know, every day lose and win and stuff like that. The higher the risk is, the more income, like the more profit you can do. So I think those who are more conservative on the investment side, I would advise them to buy a property in Marina and stay calm and expect it won't, you know, it will be somewhere there and it won't drop a lot unless something happens to the market, but it always goes up again, like it never goes really, really down. But those who are more eager to have higher returns of investment, you know, those clients that they ask you what is the ROI in Dubai, and you're telling them up to 6%, and they're like, oh, I can get from the bank even more, right? So like to those kind of clients, you can definitely say, okay, you have other options to enter in the new fresh market. You have a risk of because it's something unknown. You have to explain it, of course. It's something unknown, something we don't know how it will end up, but based on the analysis, how the casino is impacting, how the blockchain center is impacting, how the tourism, because it's the only emirate that has the mountains, the beach, and the desert, is like a very interesting in terms of nature as well. So if you believe in this, if you believe that there's potential, invest.
And by the way, what about the ROI, the percentage you mentioned?
Yeah.
Since you have a large experience in holiday homes,
Yeah.
what do you think realistically you could expect?
5.5
Realistically.
or 6.
Because we keep hearing like quite wide range of the figures from different developers. Some people are saying still those 5-6%.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are not hesitating to say that minimum 12% what you should expect net to your pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Since you had that experience in holiday homes and you know how it works inside and out.
Mm-hmm.
So what would be the realistic return buyers should expect having their property rented on the short term as the holiday homes, as the hotel?
You cannot say a ROI per city. I think it's a wrong way of saying it, because even in Dubai, you have different ROIs on different types
Sure,
of
yeah, it all depends on the location,
property.
on the property.
So I've done math on our units. Obviously, the larger unit is, the ROI is lower. But for the small, we have one-bedroom apartments in a good, nice luxury building. I calculated up to 11% ROI based on the current prices, without the Wynn opened, without all the infrastructure built. In holiday homes, how we usually do it, we compare the hotel prices, we deduct the idea of the service, we calculate approximately a margin, and then we put on top the occupancy of, let's say, 70%, because of summer we don't expect it to be fully booked, and based on that I calculated up to 11 to 12. Of course, in others you can get up to 5, so it's an average would be like a 9-10, but it really depends on the property.
Still, it's impressive.
It is yeah. I mean, like with this is why I liked it, because my large experience in holiday homes, because like I can see it's a good packaged, branded holiday homes investment thing. Also, an interesting fact why holiday homes gonna work in casino, even in Vegas, people who are under 18, they're not allowed to enter the casino. In Ras Al Khaimah, people under 18 won't be able to enter the island. So if you're planning to travel with your family and you have kids, so you won't be able to live in Wynn. You will have to live somewhere outside, even though it's a beachfront near, but like you can't be staying there. So people will come to Ras Al Khaimah, they'll come to Wynn, but not everyone gonna stay there because there's just 1,500 keys. That's a limited amount of numbers, even though it's a very impressive project. But however, it's still like small. The amount of visitors they're expecting is more than 5 million a year, which is quite a lot.
Yeah, that's definitely a lot. And how do you see a secondary market now on Ras Al Khaimah? Let's say if the buyer needs to exit before the handover, before he gets the keys, how liquid is it?
To be honest, there is a good demand on it. We have even in our company, not many buyers are willing to exit, but there is a demand because you cannot buy now on the prices that they've been sold 2 years ago. So sometimes they are, they're trying to find something like, I know it was sold for 1.2, but now you can't find anything in that area for that
Everyone
price.
is looking for a distressed deal.
Yeah.
2-bedroom CVU.
A villa.
A villa for 1.2.
And as we've been talking a lot about major development, maybe we can tell our subscribers about the project of a major development and some details that you can reveal.
Of course, yes. So Major has 3 strategic developments going on right now. First is in the Marjan, Manta Bay. It's our first project. It's like a landmark at the moment. So like I've seen some brochures of other developers saying with a view towards Manta Bay because it's a very beautiful building. It is already built for 50%, so we're ahead the schedule on that project, and we're quite proud because it's our first project, it's the most loved one. The second one is called Colibri. It's in Rock Central, is in that district that I was talking about, the blockchain free zone. That's the tallest building in Ras Al Khaimah after Wynn. So it's a tall building for residents. This is more of an user expected to be a property for the people who gonna work in Rock Central, like a DFC kind of format style. And our latest project is Ice Beach. It's a beautiful project in the shape of ice cubes. It looks like an ice castle right on the beach in Marjan Island.
Well, it looks like a lot of sales are happening just around one idea, that casino will be built and it will attract all the tourists, all the buyers, will provide the whole liquidity for the market. But what if, for a certain reason, it will not happen? Or what if, as many people say, another casino will be built in Dubai or Abu Dhabi or somewhere else? How it will affect the market?
In terms of casino, yes, it is known that other Emirates might have a casino. However, Ras Al Khaimah has exclusivity for 10 years with Wynn. So even if there will be other, but it won't be the most famous casino brand. That's one. Two, I can speak for my projects. I'm not going to say for everybody. The projects that we have, I believe in them being like a masterpiece and a destination itself. Like our latest project Ice has 60 facilities. It is like, it has even nice ring in there. So like I believe people will will be able to visit just Ice Beach itself, not only for the casino. Like, how people come to Dubai to see Atlantis, or some of them, they go for Burj Al Arab and stuff like that. So I believe in the projects we have. And again, I don't think that the supply is that large to be really concerned in terms of like what will happen if there will not be so many people. We're not talking about Dubai, Moscow, New York size. We're talking about a very restricted area with a very, restricted land. The beachfront is just 3 kilometers. It's really small.
Okay, and I think also the interesting question would be, will I get a residency visa if I buy in Ras Al Khaimah? So what about golden visa there, and what is the minimum point entry?
In terms of golden visa, is the same how it is in Dubai. Entry point 2 million, you can get a golden visa. In Ras Al Khaimah, the difference is that even if you exit and you sell your property, your visa is still valid. That's a good point.
That's a beautiful part. Non-Abu Dhabi or Dubai can provide the same, right?
Yes. Also, in terms of escrow, there is ideas that there is no escrow in Ras Al Khaimah. There is. The only difference between Dubai and the Ras Al Khaimah is that for every unit there is sub-escrow accounts, like in Abu Dhabi, by the way. And the registration of the unit is paid on the handover, not on the purchase.
And what's the difference on the sub-escrow and normal escrow? Like if we could compare it with Dubai. So buying the property in Dubai, you pay your money to the escrow account, which is linked and registered under the project name.
Yes.
And in Ras Al Khaimah,
in Ras Al Khaimah, you're paying for your own unit. So the escrow account has a unit number, and every unit has a different bank account.
And what is the advantage of it? Or is it just a difference?
It's different in regulation. It's the same stuff, like they release the money to developer upon the completion of a certain stage of the development. However, it feels safer, I guess, when you're depositing money on your own unit and not to the developer as a bulk itself.
Right. And how does the finance work? Is it the same banks as in Dubai, or there is the certain or special offers on the finance for the Ras Al Khaimah projects?
There is different banks. We work with Bank of Sharjah at the moment, and there's another 2 banks that we work. Emirates MBD as well works there. We have a mortgage partners that are providing mortgages. We can provide the mortgage on the handover. So the idea is that you can have now, by the way, have a promotion, a 50-50 payment plan. So on the handover, you can take a mortgage for the handover price, the 50%.
But you cannot finance the project if it's still being built, like in Dubai.
In Ras Al Khaimah, you can take a mortgage, but when starting from 40%. When the property is built 40%, this is when you take mortgage. Otherwise, you have the installments from the developer.
In Dubai, the completion has to be 30%, but 50% of the price has to be paid.
In Ras Al Khaimah is 40%. It's built, and the rest they can cover.
Okay, and for the investors who are thinking to buy anything in Ras Al Khaimah at the moment, what the piece of advice you could give them?
I think I would give the same piece of advice to anybody investing in real estate, is to make a good research, to choose a good broker who has experience, and invest wisely. That's it.
And do your own research.
Yeah. I think now it's with the technology and advancement, you can do your research before even buying. You can see what developer is delivering. You can check the project. You can go on the site. I would advise to not invest with your eyes closed, or at least if you are investing, make sure you have a broker that does all the homework for yourself.
Okay, I think after all the tricky questions, right, we are not as skeptical as before. And if you want to get more details about the projects and study them with us, contact us on our WhatsApp numbers.
Thank you very much. I think you cleared a lot of points and removed all the doubts from the most skeptical investors who were not ready to invest in Ras Al Khaimah.
I hope so.
Please like our video, subscribe, and comment.
And share it to the one who was interested in Ras Al Khaimah but were hesitating to ask. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.